The Haunting of Hollow Ridge. Episode 5, Whispers in the Walls. Nina and Daniel stumbled back into the foyer, the heavy wooden door swinging shut behind them with an ominous thud. The house felt different now, as if it had grown more sinister in their absence. Shadows flickered in the corners, stretching and twisting, whispering secrets in a language they couldn't understand. Nina turned to Daniel, his face pale and haunted. "We need to find the others. They could still be in danger." Daniel nodded, but his eyes darted nervously around the room. "The house is watching us. It's like it knows what we're planning." They exchanged a glance, fear palpable in the air between them. They knew they were running out of time. They ventured deeper into the mansion, the oppressive silence wrapping around them like a shroud. Each step echoed unnervingly, and every creak of the floorboards felt like a warning. As they walked, they called out for their friends. "Grace! Tom! Jack!" But the only response was the eerie stillness of the house, a silence that felt almost mocking. Finally, Nina stopped outside a door adorned with intricate carvings. It was slightly ajar, and a faint light flickered from within. She exchanged a hopeful look with Daniel before pushing the door open. The room was filled with dusty furniture, covered in white sheets. In the center stood a large desk, lit by the dim glow of an oil lamp. Papers lay strewn across the surface, and a thick layer of dust covered everything. "Maybe there's something here," Nina suggested, moving closer to the desk. As she rifled through the papers, she found sketches of the house, plans that detailed its structure, and hidden passages. One drawing in particular caught her attention, a map of Hollow Ridge with marked locations. "Look at this!" Nina exclaimed, pointing to a section marked "The Heart." Daniel leaned over her shoulder, his brow furrowed. "What do you think it is?" "I don't know, but it could lead us to Grace and the others," Nina replied, her determination solidifying. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the hallway, startling them both. Nina and Daniel exchanged fearful glances. They rushed out of the study, their hearts racing. As they turned the corner, they found themselves face to face with Tom and Jack, who were both battered and disheveled. "Thank God!" Nina exclaimed, relief flooding her. "We thought we lost you." But the joy was short-lived. Tom's expression was grim. "We need to get out of here. It's not safe." "What do you mean?" Daniel asked, his eyes wide. Jack stepped forward, his voice barely above a whisper. "The house is alive. It feeds on fear. We've seen things, terrible things." Nina felt a chill run down her spine. "What happened to Grace?" Tom exchanged a glance with Jack, and Nina could see the dread in their eyes. "We don't know. We lost her in the library. The last thing we heard was her screaming." Nina's heart sank. "We have to find her." The group retraced their steps back to the library, where they had last seen Grace. The air was heavy with tension, the shadows whispering around them as they entered. "Nina, look." Jack pointed to the corner of the room, where a section of the wall appeared slightly ajar. "What is that?" Nina approached cautiously, her heart racing. It was another hidden passage, just like the one she had found earlier. Without hesitating, she pushed the wall aside, revealing a dark corridor. "Should we?" Daniel asked, uncertainty creeping into his voice. Nina nodded. "We have to. Grace could be in there." They stepped into the corridor, the air growing colder as they ventured deeper into the darkness. The narrow passage twisted and turned, leading them deeper underground. The walls were damp, the smell of mildew overwhelming. They moved in silence, their footsteps echoing ominously. Suddenly, the walls began to whisper, the sound growing louder and more chaotic. The voices were indistinct, a jumbled mess of words that clawed at their sanity. "What is happening?" Tom shouted, panic creeping into his voice. "We have to keep going," Nina urged, pushing forward. "We're close." Just then, the corridor opened up into a vast underground chamber, its walls lined with strange symbols that glowed faintly in the dark. The air was thick with energy, and at the center of the room stood a pedestal. On the pedestal lay an ornate box, intricately carved and shimmering with an unearthly light. Nina felt drawn to the box, with an overwhelming urge to open it. She approached it slowly, her heart racing. "What is this?" she whispered. "It could be dangerous," Daniel cautioned, stepping closer. But Nina felt a connection to it, an almost irresistible pull. "I have to know." As she reached out to touch the box, a wave of energy surged through the room. The symbols on the walls began to glow brighter, and the whispers intensified, filling their minds with a cacophony of voices. "Do not open it!" Tom shouted, grabbing her arm. But it was too late. The box clicked open, and a blinding light erupted from within, enveloping them. As the light faded, they found themselves in a vast, otherworldly landscape, colors swirling and shifting like a living painting. Shadows flitted at the edges of their vision, but the air felt lighter, more vibrant. "What just happened?" Jack gasped, looking around in disbelief. Nina realized they weren't in Hollow Ridge anymore. They had been transported somewhere else entirely, a realm between worlds. "This is the house's true nature," a voice echoed through the chamber. It was the girl from the nursery, standing before them with her hollow eyes. "You've entered the heart of Hollow Ridge. What do you want from us?" Nina demanded, anger and fear swirling inside her. The girl tilted her head, her expression a mix of sorrow and something darker. "To save the lost ones, you must confront your fears. Only then can you leave." End of episode 5.